Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin is still retesting this critical area on the price chart, we're seeing a new price pattern form that we need to pay attention to as more liquidity is building above the price of Bitcoin, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside the fact that Solana is now coming in for another retest of this critical area on the price chart, while the price of XRP is continuing the rejection from this strong level of resistance. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. And if we're taking a look at this weekly time frame, we're still seeing a lack in bullish momentum in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. And looking at this weekly time frame, we still obviously have a major bearish divergence to watch out for on the weekly chart, with higher highs in the price and lower highs in the RSI, telling us that we have some signs of weakness on the larger time frames, and to not necessarily expect a significant amount of bullish momentum on the larger timeframes. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin price chart, right now we're still lacking momentum to either direction, as I've been talking about many times recently here on the channel. Obviously, the momentum in the MACD indicator is pretty much neutral. We have almost no momentum to either direction, which means continue to expect a sideways consolidation as the most likely outcome for the price of Bitcoin in the next few weeks or so. But obviously, what is just a small sideways consolidation like this on the 3-day time frame? If we're zooming into a smaller time frame, it looks like much larger bullish and bearish moves. But ultimately, once again, when we're zooming out, looking at these larger time frames, those massive bullish and bearish moves on small time frames become just a bit of choppy sideways price action on the larger time frames. And so, as I always say, it's important to understand the difference between the different time frames. And if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, for now, of course, we're trading back into this previous sideways price range in between support and resistance. First of all, we have strong support at around 103,000 and strong resistance at 110 to 112,000. And I would also expect a lot of support at close to 98,000 as well. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, of course, like I've said recently here on the channel, we're forming a possible falling wedge pattern right now, which is typically a bullish price pattern. But of course, we still need to wait for confirmation to actually confirm a breakout or confirm a price target for this pattern. And in case you're new to all of this, the confirmation that I'm talking about is either a confirmed daily candle close below this support level or above this resistance level, in order to basically confirm the next major direction on the daily time frame and set up the next price target, especially if we break out above resistance. And in case you're wondering, this line of support is still sitting in between 100,000 to 101,000, and this line of resistance is still sitting at roughly 109,000. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term, looking at the 6-hour time frame, currently, as of recording this video and over the last 1 day or so, the price of Bitcoin has been retesting this previous area of resistance, which at least for now is starting to act as a bit of short-term support, which is some good news in the immediate short term. Because of course, if we could flip previous resistance into new support, that is price structure heading in the bullish direction, which is obviously bullish for the price of Bitcoin. And of course, the next areas of resistance I'll be watching is first of all at around 108.5k to 109,000, and then in between 110,000 to 110.5k as the next strong resistance. And as for support, once again, expect support in this previous area of resistance in between 106 to 107,000. But if we were to see a confirmed break with candle closes back below 106,000, in that situation, we could likely see a retest back down towards this next area of support, sitting in between around 103.5k to 104,000. And even if that were to happen here in the short term, I'm not saying that will happen, but even if that were to happen, of course, in the immediate short term, when we're talking about a matter of hours or possibly days, of course, there'll be a bit of a bearish signal for Bitcoin, but ultimately that could be forming a larger bullish price pattern known as an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And this is the case for as long as we see a little bit more of a pullback here in the short term, but for as long as Bitcoin at least holds above around 103 to 104,000. If we start breaking below that area on the price chart, then that would be bad news for Bitcoin. But for as long as Bitcoin is holding above, especially 104,000, and especially if we bounce from somewhere around there on the price chart, then once again, that could possibly form the right shoulder for this possible inverse head and shoulders pattern, which would set up a major bullish price target if we first form the right shoulder and then confirm the breakout above the neckline. And this line that we need a breakout, in case you're wondering, is sitting at around close to 108,000. So once again, we first need to see a little bit more bearish price action in the short term, and then a bounce, and then a confirmed breakout with candle closes above around 108,000 in order to set up a massive bullish price target. And the bullish price target, in case you're wondering, if we're measuring out the move, if we first, once again, form the right shoulder and then confirm the breakout above this neckline at 108,000, that will set up a price target at approximately $117,000 per Bitcoin. So from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's approximately an 8% move towards the upside with no leverage, or for example, a 10x leverage long position would be approximately an 80% profit in that example. But once again, I want to make this clear. In order for this price target to actually confirm and come into play, we need to first form the right shoulder and then confirm a breakout above this resistance. And of course, as always, we need to consider other points of resistance that would be sitting between the price and that price target. So just because we have a price target, even if that were to come into play, if we break out above 108,000, we cannot ignore other points of resistance, like for example, around 110,000 and 112,000, the price would also likely struggle around there. And so in the case of, say, a breakout long position, usually when it comes to my trades, I tend to take a bit of profits off the table out of long positions around key points of resistance in case we were to actually reject from those points of resistance. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see that more liquidity is building above the price of Bitcoin, sitting at around 109,000 to 110,000, which means it is quite likely that maybe at some point in the next few days, in the shorter term, it's quite likely the price will head towards the upside to take out that liquidity. Now, of course, it's never a 100% guarantee, but usually the price of Bitcoin tends to move towards where there's a lot of liquidity. So keep that in mind. And if anything, if we were to see a little bit more of a pullback before we take out that liquidity, if anything, that would be even better, because once again, that could possibly form this inverse head and shoulders pattern, a bullish price pattern, for as long as we're holding above around 103 to 104,000. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto funding rate, we can see that a lot of the funding rates for a lot of the cryptos across a lot of the exchanges are currently below neutral. Although with that being said, over the last one day, the funding rates have actually moved a little bit towards the positive direction. So keep that in mind. Of course, in my last video just yesterday, I talked about negative funding rates and how usually the further the negative the funding rates go, the higher the chance of a short squeeze potentially happening. But considering the fact that over the last one day, once again, the funding rates are slightly moving towards the positive direction, this is now slightly reducing the possibility that a short squeeze could actually play out. So keep that in mind. It's not as likely now that we could see a major short squeeze. But with that being said, most of the funding rates are still below neutral, below 0.01%, which is technically slightly more bullish for Bitcoin than it is bearish. And if you want to get set up ready to go to take these trading opportunities in the price of any crypto to make a lot of money in the crypto markets, obviously you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange in order to actually trade these moves. And personally, I'm taking a lot of my crypto trades over on BTNX, so I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, you can get some massive trading bonuses over here, like for example, up to $45,000 you can actually claim into your account just by using the link below this video to trade crypto on BTNX, and also deposit bonuses. Like for example, if you deposit just $1,000, you get a $200 bonus into your account just by using the link below this video to deposit and trade on BTNX. But once again, these massive bonuses are only available using that link. And in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX as an exchange, there's also 2bit as another option out there, another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below this video. And if you use that link, you can also get some massive trading bonuses over here. Like for example, up to $50,000 you can claim using the link below this video just by trading crypto. And if you're not one of these larger traders, you can also get a $30 sign up bonus and a 20% deposit rebate up to a max of 200 USDT. So for example, if you deposit just $1,000, you get a $200 bonus into your 2bit account. But once again, only if you use that link. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and Ethereum is still looking very neutral in the short term. We've just broken back into this previous sideways price range here, back above a key point of support, which was acting as a bit of short-term resistance here, but is now once again acting as support, and that's sitting at around 2.4k and just under 2.4k. But despite the latest breakout above this key level on the price chart, technically the larger price structure is still looking a little bit more bearish than it is bullish. And of course, we still have this bearish divergence, which is influencing the price of ETH, at least for now. now. And as I've been saying every day over the last few weeks, since pretty much right here, I've been warning here on the channel that we're most likely going to see a bit more bearish price action, or at best a bit of sideways price action. And once again, considering the fact that this is still influencing the price in the shorter term, this is telling us that we should not necessarily expect a significant amount of bullish momentum. Yes, we could see some short-term bullish moves here and there, but in terms of the larger momentum in the market, we're still seeing kind of bearish price action. As we can see, bearish price structure forming lower highs and lower lows. Just in the immediate short term, we're seeing a bit of a break from that. And so overall, honestly, we're looking quite neutral in the immediate short term, lacking momentum at least for now. So I'll not be surprised if we see a bit more sideways price action over the next couple of days. And in terms of support and resistance, once again, we have strong support at around 2.4k and just under 2.4k, and also strong support at around 2.1k, and strong resistance in between 2.7k to 2.8k, and also a bit of short-term resistance at around 2.5k. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, Solana is now retesting this very important area on the price chart, which is sitting in between around 143 to 146. And obviously, I've been talking about this exact price range for months now on the channel, since before we've seen many perfect bounces and perfect rejections from this exact price range. And so continue to expect the price to struggle from this exact area, like I've been saying recently. And obviously, we perfectly struggled in this area. But if we ultimately confirm a breakout with a candle close at least above 146 and actually holding that as new support, in that situation, in the immediate short term, of course, that'll be a bullish signal pointing towards these next points of resistance. So for example, that would significantly increase the probability that we could head all the way back up towards around 167. But before 167, I would also expect a bit of short-term resistance at around 158 and also at around 153 to 154. But once again, we've not yet actually confirmed a breakout above this major area of resistance here. So continue to expect the price to struggle in this exact area. And we're also possibly forming a higher low in the price chart, but this would only really be confirmed if ideally we can confirm a breakout above 146 now, which of course, once again, would be bullish price structure in that scenario. And in terms of support, I would expect a lot of support at around 131, but really at around 124 to 126. That's the significant area of support to focus on. But overall, just over the last one day, we've not really seen any major change for the price of Solana. Technically, the larger trend on the daily time frame is still currently bearish, forming lower highs and lower lows. And of course, it's the same story for XRP. If we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart, we're still in a bearish trend, forming lower highs and lower lows. But of course, during the bearish trend, we can see short-term bounces here and there along the way towards the downside. And the only way to confirm a bullish trend reversal is to confirm bullish price structure. Like for example, confirming a higher low on the price chart would potentially be the first sign, or ideally confirming a higher high or breaking out above a very important area of resistance. Those will be the bullish trend reversal signals that I'll be watching for. But at least for now, we've not yet confirmed any of those bullish trend reversal signals, at least not yet. And when it comes to support and resistance to watch out for, first of all, I'd expect support at around $2.05 to $2.10. And of course, I've been saying that as an area of support for a long time now on the channel. But if we break below $2.05 to $2.10, in that situation, we have some major support at around 192 to 195, which is pretty much exactly where we bounced from recently, as we could see. And in terms of resistance, I'd expect resistance at around 219 to 220, which is pretty much exactly where we rejected from as predicted. But if we break out back above that area, I would expect a bit of short-term resistance at around 225. But above that, the next significant resistance is in between 230 to 235. But once again, overall, not a lot has changed for XRP. We're still in the bearish trend, still finding support and resistance at these exact levels that I've already been talking about. So getting straight into the price of Chainlink on the 12-hour time frame, and currently Chainlink is in the same position. We're still struggling around key resistance, still in a bearish trend. But if the price of Chainlink confirms a breakout back above around 1360 to 1370 with confirmation without first seen a break below around 1260. In that situation, we have a possible inverse head and shoulders pattern forming, as we could see. But once again, this is just possibly forming and not yet actually confirmed. And so the key support and resistance that I'm still watching is first of all at around 1260 to 1280 as the key support, and the key resistance still sitting at around 1360 to 1380. And if we were to see a confirmed breakout above 1360 to 1380, in that situation, I'd expect more resistance at around 1440 to 1450 and significant resistance in between 1530 to 1550. And if we were to bounce around this area of support that I just mentioned and then see a confirmed breakout above this resistance, once again, as I just mentioned, I could possibly form an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And in that situation, that would be the first change in price structure, possibly pointing towards more of a bullish trend reversal out of this bearish trend into a new bullish trend rather than just a short-term bullish move during a larger bearish trend. But once again, at least as of recording this video, we've not yet actually confirmed a bullish trend reversal, which means at least for now, we're still technically within a bearish trend, forming lower highs and lower lows, breaking below key support, and not yet really seeing any significant breakouts above key resistance. But this is the time in the market that you want to be set up ready to go to take advantage of the next trading opportunity, which could happen any day now. So of course, once again, get set up ready to go using the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can trade crypto, no matter what the price is doing, to always make a lot of money in the crypto market, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.